Hello adventurers. Unfortunately, I appear to have offended a hag by writing a stream featuring them as villains, and we're once again facing technical difficulties with Flustered, to the point that we've lost this week's recording, which is a real shame because, as I'm about to describe to you, some amazing story moments were created by our players, and I'm very sorry we're not able to share these with you. However, since we played through the game and we have some epic note takers in the group, let me recount to you the lost episode of Flustered in the Faewild. Thank you to our sponsors, Hero Forge Ultra Pro and Eldwood Academy, and our supporters, D&D Beyond, Isle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, Warriors of Waterdeep, and Level Up Dice. Isle Champions of Warriors of Waterdeep codes will still be available to those who want them, both below and in chat, so do just ask our mods or do the normal things if you want them. So the group woke up in the tiny hut within the cavern where they were going to face the Duskhag, who was threatening the town. There was a lot of discussion about how people should be direct with other people about their feelings and tell people if they like each other, the upshot of which was that Ogden asked Pip if he wanted to discuss living together. Specifically suggesting that they get some bunk beds and move in together once this is all over, which was really cute. As soon as the tiny hut was dropped, the Duskhag made a move on the party, which resulted in most of the Darklings Pip had adopted unfortunately dying in an explosion of light, which blinded the rest of the party momentarily. The party had an epic fight with the Duskhag on the edge of the ravine, with old Georgie at one point unconscious, perilously close to the edge. In a critical moment, Enoch casts his signature spell Grease underneath the hag, who falls prone, only feet from the edge of the ravine. Pip attacks him, then pushes something into Ogden's hand. Ogden discovers that Pip has gifted him the necklace containing Nutmeg, his elk, queen of the forest, Pip's most precious possession. Ogden charges at the Duskhag, lying in grease on the edge of the ravine, and pushes them both over the edge, with a little help on the dice side of things from the party's abilities to manipulate rolls. There's a moment where the party think Ogden is lost, but then he shadow steps onto the bridge into safety. The party listen to the distant, faint cry of the Duskhag falling a very long way down, which goes on for quite some time. Further into the cave, the party find the Duskhag's hideout, including a cauldron containing what the remaining Darklings call a wake potion, which gives the team the effects of a long rest, and a chaise longue proportional for someone roughly Ogden's height, which they put in Georgie's bag of holding to keep for later. The team also find a number of books on how to dismember people, which they also keep for later. The remaining Darklings present Pip with the swords of their fallen comrades in a very sweet moment. As the party emerge from the cave, all of the hags defeated, this is surely the plot dealt with. The sky over the village, however, is now filled with aurora patterns in pinks and purples. Pip suggests that this means that Veronesta is apotheosing and that the hags have perhaps been the B-plot all along. The team decide that they're going to go and be heroic and save the day and write a musical about it afterwards. Well, Ogden's going to write a musical about it afterwards. They wonder if it's only over the village because of how the other effects have worked. Gertie flies up and out of the pattern, which forms a dome over the village, confirming this theory. Coming back through, she feels a burning desire to rip out Ogden's heart, but she does manage to shake off the compulsion shortly after feeling it and, thankfully, before reaching Ogden. A group of wild shopkeepers appear, their hands held out at roughly heart level. Old Georgie traps them all in a web so the team can have a conversation with them. Importantly for the team, they seem more interested in ripping out the party's hearts than each other's, and they can shake them out of the compulsion through a combination of persuasion and intimidation rolls. The team then head back to the temple, hoping to find reinforcements there. The Banshee, who has no heart and is dead, is the only person who is unaffected, aside from Harry. They're managing to persuade the whole rest of the village who are in here that hearts are coming very soon, and they've been keeping things under control. Old Georgie creates a device which will repeat, "Think about it. Would you rather be a shopkeeper or a murderer?" and rolls it into the room to hopefully break the townsfolk out of the effect. The Banshee tells the group that Reva, Tessie and Mervyn are at the Heart Spring to protect it. Or that's what they think. The team go directly there. Do not pass go, don't collect $200. For the first time, the secret entrance into the Heart Spring has been left wide open, which is a bit concerning. Pip admits that he was planning on going over the edge with the Duskhag, which is why he gave Ogden the necklace. He only wants Nutmeg to be safe. Ogden suddenly realises they could actually die and starts to panic. Pip kisses Ogden on the forehead and says we'll talk about this later, and then goes charging into the pilgrimage below the town. Below, the team find their 3 former allies, powerful warriors, guarding the Heartspring and looking rather like the town folk previously encountered. The party ready themselves to take on their former friends. And that is where we'll pick up next week. Thank you to our D20 Club, the Dice Heads over on Patreon, who support everything that we do. Our stories are available in podcast form on all podcast providers. Flustered will return to finish off the campaign in glorious fashion next week. In the meantime, you can tune in tomorrow for the final episode of Halls of the Undermountain King at 6 p.m. British summertime. Thank you once again for all of your support, and I'm really sorry that we can't show you the episode this week, but I hope that gives you a little insight into what happened, and do join us next week to find out how we finish off this campaign. Thanks everyone. Bye!